Now I have a old wagon here that my kids are fully grown now, don't use it anymore. Wish I found the wooden rails that went around it, but that's fine. I took the handle off. Okay, I literally, no kidding, took the handle off. This is it painted. I figure I'm going to use this piece on the part that's going to go into the wheelchair. And so I just sprayed that with Rust-Oleum, sanded it down real good and sprayed it. Forgive me, I'm still on a cane, so it's hard for me to get around. I'm going to show you on the wheelchair now. Okay, we're going to go and use the area where we put our kickbacks, or the thing to stop us from going all the way back if we do a wheelie or something like that. Well, I don't have those installed, so I'm going to use, actually up here is where it's going to go. It's going to come out on this end here. We're going to use something to cap or hold the metal rod that's going to go through that. And then come over to this one with a PVC pipe in the middle, a T in the center here that's going to hook up to the pipe that's just been painted. And there's going to be a release pin, so I can disconnect the wagon and not have it on me all the time while I'm rolling around. So it's just a way to, you know, if you want to bring a cooler out someplace or something, you have that. And I'm thinking there might be a way to actually reach your hand through the seat. If you're dependent on, you know, you can't get out of the seat, you might be able to reach through and pull the pin out. There might be a way to do that. You might have to have somebody actually put the pin in, though, when you hook it back up. So here we go. All right, got some parts here. That's my 1/2-inch metal rod, and it's been pre-measured. I have to cut it. All right, so I measured it a 1/2 inch out on each side of the holes there. They're going to go through. These are the couplings it's going to be on, and they have locking screws, set screws, that's going to set on the outside. This is the PVC pipe that has to be cut. It's going to go over the pipe, and the PVC pipe is going to sit on the inside between this and this. And that's what the T is going to be on the center of this with a half. I'm going to split a coupling in half and have actually glue on, so the T rotates back and forth, you know, up and down, while the trailer has side-to-side motion. The handle of on the trailer. So that should work out good. This is the release pin that we're going to use. I have some parts inside of here. You can see I do all my shopping at our local Ace store, which is right down the block. So that's going to be where the pin's going to go through. This is some couplings that I need to come out and actually hold that metal bar a little bit more from the T. And then I have the T, I think, in this one. All right. So this is the coupling that I'm going to use to cut right down the center and then Dremel out the inside. That line that stops the actual pipe that this is made for has to be Dremeled out. The thing in here, this PVC pipe has to come all the way through, so I have to Dremel all this out on the inside. So hopefully that's not going to be too bad. I might have to actually use a round file to do that because it has to fit all the way through. That's a good stopping point for the pipe because I'm not worried about it going in and touching the other PVC pipe. That's the pipe from the wagon. So let me get started here. For number one is remeasured. Measure twice, cut once. The metal pipe and the PVC pipe that go across up there. So here we go. Well, here's the reason to measure twice and cut once. To be a 1/2 inch out, all right, on this, isn't quite 21.5 inches. So it's 21 and 3/8 is what it does. So it's a little bit short of the mark that we did in the store. So it's always nice to measure twice and cut once, and chances are the PVC pipe might be different too. So just letting you know to measure it twice and make sure you're good. Now I used a hacksaw instead of a sawzall because sawzall would go a little crazy on this, I think. So what I did is I clamped this down in between my bench, squeezed the table tight, and then sawed this off, and then I used a Dremel tool with a grinding tip to actually sand around all the sharp edges. So that's a perfect cut, nice and straight. That's going to work out nice. Now I used the same hacksaw blade to cut the PVC pipe. Now what happened when I went down and out a little bit, so when I used the Dremel tool to smooth it up, I just used it to make it all level. It might still have to be trimmed down a little bit. I'm going to put it in and see what it looks like. If you go down and out a little bit, it might be too long to fit in there nice and snug in between the two spaces. Well, it looks like a perfect fit to me. Alright, now there is a lot of play with it. Okay, there's a lot of play, but I'm really not worried about that because I'm not going on a high-speed pursuit or anything when I have this on. So it's just going to be pulling around for a while, and I'm not going to really worry about any damage or anything inside the holes. And what's going to be really nice is once this is all put together, the caps will be on both ends, and with release screws, and you can pop those off, take this thing off, put your stands or extensions back on, if you're going to do wheelies or something like that. Now I went ahead and cut these two apart, and they needed you have to use the sanding to go inside and work it around and clean up the outside, but definitely work it around. And you want to get not to where it's too tight, but where you can slide these on. This is the piece I cut off with the other PVC pipe, so they have to slide all the way through with not being stuck, and have enough room for adhesive to get underneath. We're going to use some good stuff to hold these into place. What's going to happen is they're going to sit on both sides of the T that's going to be in there, where the other side of the T is going to hook up to the pipe or the handle that goes to the wagon. Now this probably took the longest time grinding down. So take off the collar of the Dremel tool, and you can get that all the way down inside to where you can see it inside there. And you have to work that center part. It's a very thick area, and you have to work from both sides. And keep checking if you can get that pipe all the way through, because you have to be able to get this all the way through. So this is going to pivot on this. All right. So I think we're ready to start assembling. Actually, I have to do some gluing. These two have to be glued, and then this has to be glued onto this. So that's going to take some time settling, I think. Now you need to center this. Mine is 7 5/8 from the ends, and make a pencil mark on each side. Now this guy's drying right now with liquid nail holding it together. So I'm going to let that set aside, and what we need to do is put the small couplings on each side of that. And it's still hard to get around. So anyway, these are the couplings. I left them over in the vehicle by accident. So what we want to do is slide one on. We're not going to put the other one on just yet. I'm going to put the cut end in, only because it looks nicer. And we're going to go right over the pencil mark. All right, right to where you can still see the pencil mark. This will go on after the T goes on. This one here, and it'll come up to about right here. So we won't put a dab of liquid nail underneath this one over here, and not very much, because we don't want it to. We just want it to stay in spot. All right. So I'm going to take this and just put a dot right about there, and a dot over on this side. That's all I want. I don't want it smearing all over the place, because it involves a lot of cleanup. I'm going to slide this back and forth, get it spread all out underneath, and put it right there. There's a lot of play in there, so hopefully liquid nail will grab it, and that will set. It takes about 24 hours for liquid nail to totally dry. So I'm going to just probably move this so I can get my Jeep back in the garage. But I'm going to let that dry, and then that'll go on, and then I'll put this on. All right, I have both of them on. I didn't wait a day, okay? So I want to get everything glued and let it set for the 24 hours. This one was really loose. That one's tight. So I had to back this off, put some more liquid nail, really put it on there, and then spin it to make sure it's spread underneath. So what I'm going to do is take this and set it aside in the garage and let it do its drying time. Well, the liquid nail did not hold, so I'm going to have to, I cleaned this up the best I could, so hopefully this is going to work out. I'm going to put, I use a 2-part epoxy, mixed it up pretty good. I have 3 toothpicks here that I'm going to use for the application, and I'm going to coat this up really good, because I don't know what, it's going over paper too, so somewhere in here it's going to grasp. All right, so it's just going to take that much longer for it to dry, but oh well. Hopefully it does a good job. Also, what I found out is I had to grind down inside some more because the pipe wouldn't go through. So maybe that's a blessing in disguise. I don't know. I'm going to put some on inside of here. And get it all up and get it on here. And it seems like these will hold pretty good with liquid nail. But it's actually this part that actually holds onto this guy would need something else. We'll tell later on if these don't work as time goes on. And if they slide off, then okay, you're going to have to use some epoxy to do it. You may just want to start out with epoxy and do it the right way. It's not a shortcut that I took, it's just an experiment. So if you feel better using a two-part epoxy, hey, that's probably a better thing for you to do. All right, so this is going to take a while to dry again. So it says bonds on contact, sets in 8 to 10 minutes. Well, that's pretty nice. Maybe I could drill the hole while this, I don't think anything's went in there, and this should slide all the way down, and it does. It hits bottom. So now to pull this out, yeah, there we go. And it didn't pull that collar off. And that's what what I'm going to do. This is this hole is 1/2 inch back, a 1/2 inch, and so what I'm going to do is mark a 1/2 inch. Now that's a 1/4 inch pin. It's the smallest they had at the store. That's a 1/4 inch drill bit. But one thing I've found is the hole on this is not a 1/4 inch. So I'm going to have to drill that hole bigger to fit this pin through, going all the way through. So what I'll do is I'll drill this first, and I remeasured again. It's exactly a 1/2 inch back. That's a 1/2 inch back. It hits all the way to the end. So my theory is to go through here, put this in, find the hole, drill through because it'll keep it steady. Find the other hole on the other side, drill through that, and then start drilling through the other side of this. And that should make it a perfectly straight line, and I can actually turn this guy around if I need to, depending how the wagon is going to be set up on that end. All right, so let me go ahead. I'm going to turn off the camera while I do this. You'll get the idea of what I'm doing. But I'm going to have to drill these holes just a little bit bigger. Okay, the one thing I found is when I drilled straight down on this, and then I tried to put this in, it wouldn't go. So it was just a little bit too small. So I went down again, and I went around like this with it running, just a little bit to make it a little wider, and it fits beautifully. All right, so now the idea is to make a straight line going down. Hey, check this out. I didn't drill my hand like I did on my very first YouTube video. I didn't show you drilling it, but I showed you after the surgery came out on that side. That's where I put his 7/16 in. So people wouldn't let me have a drill for a long time. Just teasing me, you know. All right, so I'm going to slide this this guy in and get all the way down there. And I'm hoping I see the hole is not in its spot. The hole's up a little bit further. Okay, so that's not a big deal. I prefer it to be, I don't want to drill any bigger because as we get closer to the end, I don't want to drill into the pole then. I want to drill a little bit back. So the measurement, the thing didn't measure right, but that's okay. We got to cut a little bit back. That's why I'm doing this. That way you know. So I need to actually bring this back some and drill back here. That shouldn't be a problem, I don't think, because it's not like the hole's back here and I got to bring it up. So I'm not going to worry about this. This has to be and that should be fine. So let's see what happens there. It's kind of dirty, but that's okay. Just put the pipe in and see where that is. All right, I have drilled all the way through. Okay, and the pin actually goes all the way through, which is really nice. All right, now this is the nasty side, so I think this other side is going to be the side up. And we can always turn this around if we need. So I'm going to pull this guy out. Looks like the epoxy's holding on pretty darn good. It's not, the other sleeve is not rotating much. And I don't really want this guy to glue on. It should pull out a lot easier than this too. I'm wondering if I'm wondering if the glue has a good grip on it. I'll find out here soon. I'm actually sweating pretty bad. It's starting to get really humid out here. There we go. Let's see. Is there glue on there? No. But it's the coat of paint that I put on it that's coming off. I put 2 coats of paint and maybe that made it a little too thick. Alright, so that's it, it looks like. That'll be the cleaner side, so that'll be the side up. That'll pin through. And this guy clamps on. It clamps on like that, and that's your quick release pin to take the wagon off when it's installed. So, for sure, next time you see this, it'll be installed. Alrighty, I think I'm ready for the installation. So let me show you something I did here. Okay, I did put some electric tape around, and this makes it nice and snug inside inside here. So what has to happen is you have to come in, have the wheels set to where you can slide this through. It's going to be a little tight going through, but that's a good thing. You need to set this guy up, and we want it to with where I put the nicer holes on top. So we're going to, oh wow, that's tight going through there too. I just realized. The tape is not going to work out today. Wow. Okay, it goes. It makes it through the center. That's good. I pushed a little bit hard. That's good. That means I can put tape in the center too to stop it from doing that. We should be coming out on this side soon. Alright, there it is. So now it's about even on both sides. I use my fingers. So I got about a finger length on each side. Okay, that's the pivot. And this side, that's not even moving. That's really nice. These are the I don't know what you want to say them, garments. I'm not sure what you want to call these things, the proper terminology, and even on my plans they don't say what they really are. So I'm gonna. They have set screws. I'm putting up as hard as I can up against the frame of the hole, and I'm pushing it in, screwing them down. And I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. I think maybe I don't have the right size. Might not be the right size. Oh, there we go. That side is. All right. I thought they were both the same side. I have to do the same to the other side, but I'll be in your way, so I'm going to turn off the camera while I do that side. So that's what it's going to look like when you don't have the wagon hooked up. So you're going to walk around with this thing hanging like that. Okay, hopefully somebody doesn't make a stupid derogatory remark. But these things work really well on both sides to stop it from sliding back and forth. When this moves, the PVC pipe moves a little bit, but not very much, which is what I was hoping. Okay, probably when there's some load on it, maybe not. There is a little play in there, which is okay with me. Okay, so now let's go hook up the wagon. So is that something really cool? Look at that. Picture somebody riding around with that on the back of their wheelchair. That's going to be so cool. Alright, just think of all the stuff you can do. You can bring your cooler along, your lunch along, some supply of water along, wherever you're gone. You can be part of a group rather than just somebody in a wheelchair. I think it'll open all sorts of possibilities. Hey, if you want to patent this, please. I can't afford to patent. So if you want to patent this, please contact me, okay? I'll put my contact information on the end of the video. Alright, feel free to share. And hey, I hope it helps out a lot of people in the wheelchair.